Hello, I'm Carrie with Happy Fish Tarot, reeling in wisdom from the Sea of Tarot. And today I'm doing something that I'm really excited about. I am going to do a little brief review of The Wild Unknown. So I know there are probably a bajillion reviews of this deck already. I have actually not looked at any yet because I just got this deck a few weeks ago and I immediately enjoyed it so much that I wanted to have my own personal experience with it, which is what I have been doing, and now I'm ready to share my thoughts with the world. The first thing I noticed about the deck is that the box feels fantastic and the cardstock is fantastic as well, which is really important. When you open the box, the first thing you see is this, I don't know if it will show very well, but there's a really cool little handwritten message. And then the little book that comes with the deck also is handwritten as well. What I really like about this booklet is on the first side we have kind of an overview of the structure of the deck as a whole, and then on the flip side there's just some really brief keywords for each of the cards. The reason I think this is so fantastic is that it could work really well for someone who is a complete beginner to tarot, and it can also work for someone who has a little more experience. The keywords I noticed that the deck creator gives for The Wild Unknown largely mirror a lot of the accepted keywords for the Rider-Waite tradition. So if someone is already using a Rider-Waite based deck, or on the flip side, if someone gets The Wild Unknown as their first deck and then eventually wants to transition into using the Rider-Waite, I think it would be a really smooth process. Even though the keywords given by the deck creator really mirror a lot of the traditional Rider-Waite keywords, this is definitely not just another Rider-Waite clone. It's a very unique deck. I've never really come across anything quite like it. One of the first things that I noticed as I started going through the cards is that there are absolutely no human figures in this deck. So right away that takes away the problem of portrayals of gender, weight, age, all of those things. And we all know that even when a picture in the Rider-Waite deck shows a page, for example, it doesn't necessarily have to mean a young person, but this deck kind of eliminates that problem entirely. There are quite a few animals used in the deck, and to be honest, I usually steer away to some extent from decks that use a lot of animal imagery because many of them are overly fantastical for my preference. I love the art in a lot of these decks, but when they start getting too fantasy based, it's difficult for me to perform a serious reading. So even though there are animals used in The Wild Unknown, they don't have that kind of fantasy vibe. They have more of a realistic, kind of a raw and a really powerful vibe to them. So for example, there is strength. The coloring is largely black and white, and then there are some splashes of colors throughout the deck that are really strategically used. So I think this is awesome because it gives a lot of power to the color. Here are the Magician and the High Priestess. And this is a really great example of the use of color throughout this deck. In the Magician, we have some yellows and oranges, colors that really evoke power, focus, concentration. And then in the High Priestess, we have more blues and violets, colors that evoke mystery and spirituality. There are 3 words that I would use to describe this deck: expansive, stirring, and essence. It's actually incredible how this art is able to plug in to the deep intuitive meaning behind the card in a very simple way. As much as I love the traditional Rider-Waite deck, it's very heavy. There's a lot of symbolism, there's a lot of references to mythology and religion. It has a lot of layers to the symbols and the pictures, which is fantastic. But I think the power in the Wild Unknown lies actually in its simplicity and the way it's able to bypass all of those layers and tap into something really central behind the message of each card. On my blog, I am going through each card individually and putting my interpretations of the colors, the symbols, all of the stirring feelings that I get when I look at the cards. I'll put some links below. If you're interested, please follow along with me. So as you can tell, I think this is a wonderful deck. I have had it just about a month now, and it's quickly soared to the top of my list of my favorite decks. I'm really enjoying working with it, getting really powerful, evocative readings. I will also throw a link down below to the Wild Unknown website where you can purchase the deck if you don't already have it. I know it's a couple of years old and a lot of people already do. I was kind of late to the party, but I'm so glad that I took the plunge and got this deck because it is delightful. Thank you for watching. Make sure to visit me over at happyfishtarot.com and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I put out videos every Tuesday. I will catch you next time.